Oh. I was the chair.
All
I
right.
promise.
I swear. We're back.
Oh man, it's been a minute, and I apologize.
I-
I say that every time.
Every
You
time,
just
yeah.
expect that. That's going to be every
You
single
know what?
time. man.
Just consider these episodes a treat. You know,
treat.
like just to consider them like, oh, finally, like they came out with one. Yes,
As a reminder,
Yes.
we have a full-time day job.
full
So,
time.
Yeah. So when we do this, it's because I was able to get him out of the house.
Yeah, absolutely. And then make sure you hit that like and subscribe because if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for like the three of you that watch these episodes,
We gave up.
Anyway, so here we are once again.
Let's catch up on some stuff. So
What do we got?
I was going through the TikToks, right?
The Tickety Talk.
The tickety talk, and came across something. I was like, oh, we got to talk about that. That's actually a cool little topic. We're going on a day trip.
Yeah.
I decided I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to do a day trip. I can't explain how many times, like you get really bored. You're like, I have 2 days off, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can do a lot in 2 days. You just don't realize it. And, I've traveled a lot over the past few years. I've been fortunate enough to travel. And there's some things I was like, I could have done that in a day. And I didn't realize.
absolutely,
So, like
yeah.
Alcatraz, hands down, probably one of the coolest experiences I've ever done. I love the history behind it. And being a Call of Duty fan, I don't know if you ever played the zombies with it. So that was a thing on its own. And since then, I was like, I got to go to this island. I finally had the chance to go to San Francisco and then go to the island, actually take a tour on it, explore around, and it's fascinating. It's amazing. And I didn't, like looking back on it, I could have done all that in a day.
Yeah.
I could have flew out there because from Colorado, it's a 2-hour flight, maybe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not really that long.
Gotcha.
Fly out there, get a hotel, go to the pier, go to the island, find something to eat, go to bed, head on back home.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I'd have made a lot of progress in those 2 days.
Oh, yeah,
Technically
absolutely.
one day.
Well, yeah.
The second day is more to traveling back.
It's like, all right, let's head on back. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we decided, I finally, I was like, you know what? I want to do a day trip. So I hit you and a few the buddies up. I was like, hey, let's do a day trip.
Yeah, I said, yeah, okay, cool,
Hell
let's
yeah.
do it. Why not?
And we're going to Vegas
Yeah.
for a day. Been there many times before, but this is your first time.
Yeah, first time in Vegas. Never been. Never. Like everybody always told me, it's like, you have to go to Vegas. Once you turn 21, you have to go to Vegas. You have to go to Vegas. You
Yeah.
have to go to Vegas. Here I am.
Damn near, you're 30, 31?
31 years old, and I still haven't gone to Vegas. It's
that cherry.
never been like on my top priority list, I guess. Like even like when I was younger and just partying like all the time, it's like it was never like on that priority list.
Yeah, but you're not a huge gambler.
No, absolutely not.
So I understand it. We will be doing some gambling there. Pretty much like our list
yeah,
on
it's
for
gonna
like
happen.
our budget for how much we were going to take just went out the window immediately. I looked at the other two and I was like, how much you taking? And they're like, more than I should be.
Good night.
So
Good night.
some money's going to be either lost or won in that one day, but it's going to be a good time.
All right.
Man, Vegas was not built on winners. Have you ever heard that line?
Yeah. I've heard many lines about Vegas, many things about Vegas.
I've given them thousands and thousands of dollars.
It's like
If I could just win back what I had given them, I'd be one happy camper.
they should just like the United States, like the taxes.
Yeah.
They should just collect them from Vegas instead of like me.
Well, Vegas has no state taxes, right?
Yeah.
It's casino taxes.
Yeah, casino. Yeah.
Which is funny because I'm like, it's the exact same thing basically.
Yeah, this pays for the whole country's taxes right
Pretty
here.
much.
It's like I don't know why you're still charging me more because you greedy bastards up there, but whatever.
It's amazing, man. Like the whole design of like the casinos. So when you go there, the few things you're gonna notice. One, there's no windows.
No
Two,
windows.
There's no clocks. They do not want you knowing they don't want you seeing outside.
Yeah.
They don't want you seeing what time it is.
Jesus.
And
Okay.
3, every casino floor is designed to be like a maze. It's never just a straight shot to get outside.
Yeah.
It's the minute you walk to that casino floor, you got to take them like 10 lefts and 10 rights.
Purposefully designed
They want
like
you,
this, yeah.
to constantly get lost through their casino.
Because it's like a playhouse for adults.
Exactly.
Basically, you go in and it's like, oh, you see like a few little slot machines. Like, oh, okay, cool. And then you start walking through. It's like, ooh. Piece of candy.
Ooh, look at that light.
Ooh, look at that one. Look at this one.
They
over
do
here.
that, man. You walk by them. I think they have like the sensors that like go or timers that go off every so often. So
Yeah.
you're walking by a machine that's not being played, and it'll just like illuminate and
Yeah.
then make some weird sounds. You're like, I got a feeling about that.
It's like
one.
whenever
But-
I went to arcades,
yeah.
they have the pinball machine. They're all exactly the same. It's just that one's Guardians of the Galaxy themed,
Yep.
and that's Mortal Kombat. It's like,
and they do that because they have Game of Thrones. They
yeah,
have,
exactly. It's
yeah.
like it's all exactly
Walking
the same.
Dead.
It all does the same thing. It's just like, ooh, look at that, ooh.
they get you they get me every time. But
That's how they suck me in.
and I don't know how true this is, but I was told that they pump oxygen into the casino, obviously to keep you awake. You know, you're wired because I'm telling you,
okay.
when I'm in these casinos, I have more energy than I would like.
Yeah.
like I'm wired all day. Like when I told
Wow.
you we're not going to bed till 4.
You don't think
It's a real thing.
you don't think it's just like like all the lights, like all the bright lights and all the commotion that's going on. Like it triggers something in your brain, says no, it's not time for bed. It's time for
It very
like,
well could be. Yeah.
party or like
yeah.
it's time to go basically, and it's like you're just wired the whole entire time.
Well, while you're there, you're gonna notice every casino has a different smell. They all have scent.
really?
Yeah, being pumped, like some
Okay.
scents being pumped into the casino because you could smoke in there. So
Yeah.
the ventilation is insane. Like there could be a guy right next to you with a cigar, you probably wouldn't smell it.
You wouldn't smell it.
No, it's
Jesus
insane.
Christ.
Yeah, so their
crazy.
HVAC has got to be insane.
Yeah.
And like you go to like the Luxor, which I think gets a bad rap. There's a lot of people that say it's trashy. I think they're high. I've been there many times, man. I mean,
Those are my
that's an
favorite, the trashy
understatement.
ones.
They pay better. The slots are looser. And the
Slots. Let's emphasize slots.
slots and the other one, they're just as loose. Just as loose.
Yeah.
But it's funny. I went there in December, the down season, right?
All right.
So you don't really plan on going to Vegas unless you're closer to the like New Year's date because they send off fireworks and everything on every casino. It's
Okay.
pretty insane. So
Yeah.
like the strip is just packed.
Yeah.
But it's not until those exact dates. If you go like a week or two before New Year's and you're in the middle of December, you start to notice a certain clientele just hanging around the slot machines or walking the strip. They are noticeable during the busy seasons,
Yeah.
but they're not. They don't pop out and stand out.
They don't stand out
very
as much.
well
Okay.
during
I
the
see.
down season.
I see what you mean.
Like
Yeah.
I'm in New York, and I'm walking through gambling.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking over, and I was like, who the hell are these people? Like they're just leaning against the machine. What's
going on here?
And then they'll look at you, and they'll start to walk up to you, and then it clicks immediately, like and you just tell them, hey, I'm broke. I can't afford you. I can't. Casino took all my money.
Yeah. Look where I'm at. Come on.
Which, by the way, for people, if you've never been there before, and Vegas is very loose with their sex workers.
It's legal, ain't it?
It's illegal on the outside of the city limits, I think.
So the state of Nevada itself, not the city of Vegas, but the state of Nevada,
like
it's
certain
legal.
counties around it,
Oh,
Vegas.
okay, I see.
So, and that might have changed, but yeah, like obviously you're gonna be walking by and you're gonna hear. They're gonna flip a card, and they're just gonna be handing it to you. That's a real thing. You're gonna walk by it, and they're gonna flick a card and try to hand it to you. Take a few for a souvenir. They're cards with women on it, and they'll say a price on it and stuff.
Yeah.
And you call that number, and they'll come straight to your hotel room. I want you to
What?
know the price on that card is a lie. That is, if it says $99 for 2 women to come to your room, that is probably just to get to your room. $99 just to get to your room. All the fun you want to have, that's going to be a different price. And I'm telling you, there are stories for days. If you look into it, one, don't ever just after you're done with your business, don't ever just pass out. There's been many stories of people getting robbed.
Ooh.
2, if you don't pay, their pimp's probably waiting outside that door.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, coming to beat you up.
Good night.
So do with that what you will. Just be safe out there. For those of you first timers going, or first people that have never done that before. Not that I have. I'm just saying.
Not that I'm just.
But I came across something on the TikTok that I wanted to touch over. So, and I brought this up because, like I said, we're going to Vegas in 2 days.
Yeah.
There was an incident in August 26, 1980. And I can't fault the guy for doing it. Because there are many times where I'm like, this casino cheated me. This casino cheated me. Give me my damn money back. I'd have to look it back up on what the fella's name was. But early in the morning, this van shows up and says, hey, we got a copy printer that we're going to be bringing in. And security pretty much goes, oh, okay. Brings them right on in. And they go take it up to a certain floor. And they find a note pretty much saying that it has 1,000 pounds of dynamite in it. And they're saying, I want $3 million where this thing's going off. The casino was the Harvey's Wagon Wheel Casino on State Line, Nevada. And he was asking for $3 million. This thing was intricate as hell. It had about 28 to 29 toggle switches on it. And the letter literally stated all the different ways that this thing can go off. It said if you try to pull the box off, it's going to go off. If you flip any of the switches in the wrong order, it's going to go off.
Yeah.
If you try to drill through it, there was a bunch of booby traps in it that it would set off a chemical, setting off the bomb, it's going to go off. If you try to sever this thing in any way, any of the corners, any of the seams, it's going to go off. That's how in-depth this letter was.
Yeah.
So they brought in, I think it was the FBI, and they pretty much were talking to Harvey's Wagon Wheel Casino.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we're not going to pay. Bring in the bomb squad. And they tried to pull it apart. So on top of this huge crate was another crate or another box, and that was where all the toggle switches were.
Right.
They were thinking if we could sever that quick enough, maybe that's the brain. That's what's triggering all of this.
Okay.
So if we could sever that, maybe it'll kill all the sensors.
Kill everything.
And then we could pull it off.
Yeah.
And they actually X-rayed it, and it turns out that they weren't lying. That letter was very true. It was filled with booby traps. So to the T. So they're like, oh shit, this is real. This guy's for real. They severed they severed the top box from it.
Yeah.
Boom.
Oh.
There was, in fact, about 1,000 pounds of TNT in there.
Jesus.
So the guy was asking for $3 million. In damages to repair it was $18 million. I think they'd have made out if they just paid the $3 million.
if they would have just paid out. Damn, dude, that's crazy.
So the guy was apparently in debt about $750,000.
Yeah.
And he was like, I guess around this time, a lot of the casinos were being held hostage for these bombs and stuff. And so like some of the security guards had actually just went through bomb training.
Yeah.
And this is, I'd have to double check on all this. So this is what I had saw. But I guess the guard had hid behind the actual bomb, and he thought the package itself was the bomb. And I was like, oh, buddy, you're hiding behind the wrong thing. That's not the bomb. That's the bomb.
buddy.
But, yeah, that's what ended up happening in August 26th, 1980.
You know, it's crazy. When you mention, like, the cost of everything, like, once everything, like, the bomb goes off, it cost $18 million in damages. That's crazy to think that now you have to, like, evaluate, like, what's going to be more cost effective.
Exactly.
Let this thing go off and replace everything in here, or just pay out the money.
Yeah.
And it's like, obviously, yeah, like, well, just pay the guy. You know, he got me. Like I got. You
I
know?
got.
But damn, at the same time, it's like, damn it, man. Like, come on.
I'll see if I there's footage of it. I'll see if I can put it somewhere right here.
Yeah. So.
But it's crazy. So like I understand. Like think about it, right? If you was
Yeah.
to pay the guy out, now everyone thinks, oh, if I can do this, they'll just pay me as well. Mm-hmm. So at one point, you're gonna have to put your foot down and be like, pound sand, buddy.
Yeah. Kick
I
rocks.
understand that concept, but this was one guy who was not bluffing. You know,
Damn,
they probably
dude.
went through a lot of people that were bluffing,
Right?
but this guy
Dude, that's
was
crazy.
legit. He's serving life with no parole, from my understanding.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
So see, that's my other thing, right? Like every time like I hear something like this going down, right? Like a ransom hostage situation, you know, these are my demands, et cetera, et cetera. It's like, how do you plan on getting away?
Yeah.
How do you plan on getting out of this situation? Because
What's your-
obviously you have everything planned out. Like to think that he had every nook and cranny of that
The device
machine,
itself, yeah.
Wired, trapped, you know, whatever. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, cool. I got to this point. I got it delivered there. Now what?
What's your exit strategy?
Yeah. What's your exit strategy?
Yeah.
It's like, are you going to have the money just wire transferred? But now you run into the situation like, okay, well, they're going to track me through the bank account.
Yep.
Is it an offshore bank account? Well, I think they have things in place now for that too, as
No,
well.
and
Like,
there's
you know, like
a lot of the countries that are that extradite you. So like they'll ship you back. They'll arrest
Yeah.
you there and then ship you back to
exactly
America.
So it's like, what is your like? How do you plan on getting out of this?
Yeah.
I think not so much for like the money or like the outcome of the things. But I think like what these people look for is just like that recognition. Like, hey, look at me. I did this.
I did it. Yeah.
I made this happen. So watch out. Watch out. I'm watching
But
you, damn it.
the bomb was so well put together that someone like that should have been smarter to you
That's
know,
what I'm saying,
like obviously
yeah.
I want to know what this guy did before that. If he was
Right.
able to devise or build a bomb that
Right.
was that well put together with that many booby traps,
Right.
like how did you not do something else with your life that was very constructive?
Dude, I think
like how did you get down that rabbit hole?
I think some people are just like, I don't know, man. Like they're just
Gambling is a bad disease, man. Like there are people out there that Vegas has an entire check that when you get a chance after this, when you're at home, look up the underground world of Las Vegas.
that's crazy.
There are tunnels
That's nuts.
and tunnels, a whole city under Vegas with homeless people. It is insane. In fact, they say there's a lot of people like when you're going down there, don't go down there never go down there by yourself and go down there with someone who knows, like probably another homeless person that can
Yeah.
vouch for you.
Yeah.
Like they have, obviously when they have heavy rains, it's like, dude, people are dying because when them tunnels flood,
Yeah.
they're deep in there. But it's insane. It's creepy and insane. But it's Vegas has a lot of tragedies and a crazy history. Obviously, I don't know if you know, the mob ran the entire strip.
I've heard stories about this. Yes, I've heard stories, but never really like looked into it because it's like freaking mob, you know, like what-
Yeah.
like
No, that the mob, everything, the casinos were ran. Every single casino there was ran by the mob. So it's crazy to see what it is now. I'm sure there are some inner workings still. You don't just have a grip on a whole city like that and lose
Right.
100% of it.
yeah,
But, you know, obviously in today's day and age with technology, you know, now there are just other corrupt people that
I think-
run it.
I was watching something a while back, and I can't remember what it was, but the subject of the mob came up. You know, like gangs, like back in the day. You know, and back in the day, gangs used to do physical activity. Like when I say physical, it's like, you know, show up and conduct business. It's like physically, hey, I'm gonna send somebody out
Yeah.
to go to the, you know, to the laundromat and collect my money. Go
Yeah.
to that liquor store over there, collect my money.
Do
that
your
way.
rounds.
You know, exactly. Do your rounds. Exactly. Now, for my understanding, a lot of people think that the mob is kind of died off and kind of gone. No, they're still going strong.
There's still
It's
still
just
traces of it.
a lot of it has kind of like simmered down. They're just kind of like sitting back and
They're not
enjoying
in the
because yeah,
public
like you
eye
said,
as much.
like modern technology nowadays, you can do everything wirelessly
Oh,
and like
absolutely.
from the literally just right here, just sit here and it's like gone,
Wire transfer, bam,
like
gone
there it
like
is.
that, yep.
Yeah. So to think, yeah, that once Vegas was under the control of the mob, I think it might still, they might still have a good grip on it.
Yeah, down to its core, there's probably some people.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's why like Vegas, like for what I've seen, everything that I've seen about Vegas is it's meant to just make you lose completely. Like there was one thing I was watching the other day, and this was actually recently. Like ironically, I was watching stuff about Vegas, and they're saying that when you go in, like if you're a first timer, you go in for the first time, you walk in those doors, like they already know who you are. They already see you. The camera's already on you,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And then you're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
they know it's like, okay, that's a new person. They, you go into where you're going and then you sit down on the machine and then it's like, boom, you win. Or like, you're a few pulls of the
Yeah.
machine, it's like, boom, you win. It's like, oh, dang, I won.
I mean,
wow.
There's the term new. You got that new gambler luck if
Yeah.
it's your first time there, something like that. But I don't know. I don't know if they have as far as rigging machines like that is all true. But as far as seeing you,
But like,
when you walk in there, they call them the eyes in the sky, bro. When you look up, there are cameras
everywhere. Yeah, absolutely everywhere. But like, I'm talking about more like these, like the $1 million machines, like the ones that are like, that you hit the big jackpot on.
Yeah.
These are the ones that supposedly, what I was watching the other day, it's like they are rigged. So you go and sit down on it. If it's like your first time on it, they let you win, but they let you win like a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like get a taste of it. Second time, like it'll take a few more pulls, but it's like boom, he hit again. It's like, oh man, dude, I'm gonna hit the jackpot. And then that's technically that's how they
Yeah.
they
So-
gotcha.
I mean, I gamble a lot, Let me tell you, those machines, they do draw you in that way. I've read many articles, a few books about the actual slots because, like, you want to be like, is there a formula? Is there a way I can actually
Is
win
there a
at
way?
this?
Yeah.
They're definitely random, but I think in this they have I wouldn't say completely random. There might be something in them that they do that. Like when you are down to a certain point,
Yeah.
and it's too much of a coincidence to not.
Yeah.
For you to not feel like, hey, that seems like on purpose.
Yeah.
Because
That's
it's
what I'm
happened many
saying, yeah.
times. Like I'll be down to my last dollar. Bam!
Yeah.
It jumps me back up, and it's only to get you to keep putting more and more in.
More and more
And,
in. Yeah.
gives you a false sense of hope, like, oh, I'm gonna win, I'm gonna hit it
Yeah.
big, or you get that feeling, you're like, you'll see it, it'll have like a drop down bonus, and you always need 3 bonuses to like actually play the progressive.
Yeah.
So you see it like bonus, and that third bonus has just a glimpse of it showing. You're like, it's close, it's gonna let
It's
me
almost
hit.
there. Yeah.
It's not gonna let you hit.
It's not gonna
I'm
let you
I'm
hit.
telling you, I'm
Yeah.
here to tell you, I'm sorry. You're probably not going to win. Vegas is always going to win. The odds of you hitting that million aren't that wow. It's just like playing the Powerball, man.
Yeah.
I hate to say it.
That's one of those things. Like the Powerball is the one that pisses me off the most. So like, what's the Powerball? It's not even the Powerball. It's the Mega Millions right now. It's up to like 1.5 billion or
yeah.
something like that. It's crazier because it keeps going up. Every time that the Powerball hits, the next one's even bigger. Not
yeah.
by much, but it's even bigger, right? Yes, people will win, in between the big jackpot, but every time that it goes without a winner, it goes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
If everyone just knew how much money the country racks in from the Powerball and Mega Millions,
Dude,
it's disgusting.
it's
I'm
insane.
telling you right now, the money they pay out doesn't even compare to the amount of money they are making.
Dude,
it is.
it's
obscene.
nuts. It's nuts. Like somebody said, like not to get political into this at all, or something just shined in. It's like blinding me. It's like, good Lord. somebody once said, you know, like I said, not to get political, that I have my views on this, but I'm not going to talk about them right now. But they were saying that the amount of money when these jackpots are so big, that could completely clear off, like student debt, for example. Like everybody's student debt out in the country could completely wipe it off. And that's to think that could get wiped off. We could actually do something with that money, something big. It's like, damn. But instead, we are selfish. We are greedy.
For myself. Oh yeah.
Because that's life changing, dude. It is life changing.
You know what pisses me off? The state that always wins. And I
say it.
Listen.
Say it.
I'm not saying all the people from there are bad.
This is why I think it's rigged.
Yeah,
this is why I highly believe that whole system is completely rigged.
Yeah.
Because it's always
that damn state. I hate
Never
you, California.
fails.
I hate you. I legitimately hate. Like, other than that trip I took to see, you know, what I wanted to see, the rest of you is garbage. It's always California. You never have any of any of the Midwestern or middle parts of the states. It's always California, or sometimes I think people in New York have hit. I know a winning the big one. I think what was it, the billion that was for Powerball. I'm pretty sure the winning ticket was bought from Chicago. Obviously, you're large group states where your population is obscene, but it's still, I don't know, something feels a little rigged. Something's that damn
off,
state's the one that always has the majority of the winners.
I personally think, you know, I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on. I personally think that each state, you know, puts in, right?
Yeah.
State one, we'll say. State one is, hey, we're in the hole here. We have a lot of debt that we need to clear up. We need a winner. So the lottery will say, okay, cool, we'll give you the winner. The state takes their big chunk, because everybody takes the lump sum, right? Everybody takes a lump sum. The state takes a huge, huge cut that covers a lot of their expenses, and then they pay the lottery off again. Here you go. Here's your cut. I'll hit you up next time, right? But say there's another state. Hey, we need it more. We're drowning over here. We're pretty. It's pretty bad.
Let's give them
right?
a hit. Yeah.
And then they'll be like, okay, well, I mean, this guy, they're paying me this much. How much are you trying to like? Okay, I'll.
Like, obviously, like, you watch it, they're pulling the balls randomly, so it's like. It's like understanding and not wanting to understand it. Like, I get it. You know, it is random. At least from my perspective, it looks like it's random. But for some reason, California still is the only state that wins.
Look how we're in the day and age of AI. You're telling me that we see it on TV, right? Like, because they do this live, right? It could be live. But you're telling me that every ball in there has a number? I think that all those balls are blank.
And they're just projecting it on there?
They're projecting it on, like with AI or CGI, or, you know, like, hey, put a number on there.
That's a hell of a conspiracy theory right there. But, you know,
I told you I have my tinfoil hat on right now.
I mean, if you do lose enough, you start to question, something's wrong, something's rigged. I don't know how.
Yeah.
Something's rigged.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right. And then it's like, how many tickets have been sold, you know? How many tickets get sold for that 1 week?
Bro,
right?
the other day, like, I bought $300 worth of tickets.
Exactly.
That was almost 100 lines, because it's $3 for per line if you get the power play.
Yeah.
And it was like it was like $298 that we ended up paying. So it was like I had like 96 or 97 lines.
Yeah.
Almost 100 lines. And I made back $24.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you,
buddy.
I'm sitting there just fuming.
And that's
fuming.
That's what, you know, it kind of like the way my math works, you know, it's like it's weird, but like, you know, they say the odds, you know, are like one, like your odds are better of getting hit by lightning than winning the lottery. I think there's more to it than that, dude. I personally think that because again, think about this, right? Like in that week or in those few days, thousands upon thousands of tickets get sold, right?
yeah.
What are the odds? What are the odds that the number, and it's multiple plays too. Like one ticket will have like 10 plays, and then buy another ticket, another ticket, another ticket, another ticket. You see what I'm saying? And then what are the chances that none of those numbers at all hit in that 1 week, in those few days, it's like they're really low. But again, like I said, like the chances are super, super low. But I don't know. I think the system's rigged, dude.
I mean, there are a stupid amount of an infinite number. No, I wouldn't say infinite because we only go up to like what? I don't know what the highest number it is that they draw on the ball, but the amount of numbers and options they could choose in between is astronomical. So you'll never have the same numbers in a row,
right?
Like I don't think ever again.
Yeah.
If that happens, if we've drawn the same balls that we have done in the past or whatever, I think that's an stupidly astronomical chance that has happened. So I mean, there's a good reason for certain numbers not being drawn. No one's won it, but still, just something about it in my gut it feels rigged.
I'm telling you right now. I think personally, it's like the states are in cahoot. Everybody's all in cahoots. Everybody wants a piece of the pie. Hey, bring it over here again. Bring it over here again.
And there's too many things about California that has like rubbed me the wrong way. That from here on out, I'm pretty much just, if I find even the slightest thing, I'm just like, I hate you. I hate you.
If you just think about it, that whole state, like the cost of living's up high.
Ridiculous.
Taxes are up high, right?
Absurd.
And then everything costs so much more.
So much more. Their laws for their vehicles is retarded. And no, I'm not saying all of you. So if you get offended in the comments down below, you're probably one of the retards I'm talking about. Dude, some of the people that come from there, I'm just like, there's no way you're that stupid. And then they do something, and I'm like, why'd you prove me? Why'd you prove me wrong?
Makes sense.
So
it makes sense.
Texas right now is getting a handful of people from that state, right? Everyone's moving there for a better life. Obviously, cheaper living. Taxes aren't that crazy. Housing's cheaper. Kind of cheaper. You got to look in the fine lines. Like
look at the fine print.
Yeah,
property taxes. That's where they
are
get
outrageous. But before Texas got bad, that was us. Colorado. They were swarming Colorado.
They got us.
They got us.
They got us. Yeah.
And then like their people, like if you're gonna leave that state to go to another state and be like, oh, I like their views, I like their the way their country run or their state runs. Understand that if you're coming here for those reasons, don't turn us into what you just left.
Yeah, don't turn around and do the same thing that you did before and think that it's going to be better.
They've done that to Colorado.
So
Texas is next. They're hands down. They're swarming. Austin is the new California.
It's funny that you mentioned that because when I lived in Phoenix back in 2015, that was the first boom of Californians. So I was living in there, and a lot of Californians were coming out of California, moving over to
Makes sense.
To Arizona, right?
It's a state right next to it.
It's close, right there, next, cross the border, and boom, you're there. And they would come over, and a lot of those guys, you go downtown, and you start, partying and stuff like that. You meet some of these people, and then like you hang out with them and whatnot, and then you start talking to them. You start seeing the way that they think, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. Like I see why you left, but what are you doing here? What's happening right now? And it's like, well, like the mentality is what drives me crazy, and it's like, well, it could have worked, but only if you do X, Y, Z. And it's like, hold on, buddy. The way you're seeing things is not the same way that everybody else is seeing things. Like I get that you are trying to like it could have worked. You can tell me all the scenarios of how it could have worked, but it's not going to, because every single one of you that keeps voting for the same thing keep having different views on how it should be done.
Yeah.
And you don't ever come together and say like, hey, this is never going to work. So this is why basically California failed. You have so many businesses that left already.
Oh yeah.
Businesses are gone. You know, the biggest one was Tesla.
Tesla.
And they said,
Google
peace,
left.
I'm out. Google left.
Apple left.
Actually, I think Apple might still be there. I think
They're
Apple's
thinking about leaving. They just haven't told you yet.
but like a lot of big names, a lot of big name companies already, they said, you know what, we're out because like we can't do it, man.
Yeah.
Like we can't continue to live up to these expectations that you keep setting down to us. And it's like, no, absolutely not. And then the people that are leaving, yes, they're leaving for a better life, but they keep doing the same thing. So when they came to Colorado, like you said, they did the exact same thing that they did over there.
What's that? That quote, the definition of insanity. I'm gonna say that it's also the definition of stupidity, is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different
outcome. Yeah,
yeah. That's you, California.
It's crazy. It's crazy. You guys are wild.
And like, it's funny because like one of our best buds is from California, and I remind him all the time.
Yeah.
Are you all this stupid? We're not like that.
Are you all the same?
You all the same?
All right, I'm gonna keep that in mind, son. Keep that in mind.
On a new topic, I see you got some new tat from our buddy, Rudy, who was on the podcast a few episodes back.
So yeah, I got some new ink, you know, got some work done, and I'm gonna tell you, man, I forgot what that felt like.
So there's everyone experiences tattoo different, somewhat the same, but similarities are you know, there's a few things that we feel different. Did you find it a enjoyable pain or a pain?
It's not like the worst pain I've ever felt in my life, but it's not enjoyable. It's not. It's definitely not. Like whoever says it's, you know, it's just like a little scratch. You know, it's like, no, you are a liar. Don't. No. Because I remember the last time I vaguely. Let me rephrase that. I vaguely remember the last time I got a tattoo, which was on my arm, right?
Yeah.
And when I got that done, my mentality was different than my mentality now, right? So back then, basically, the tattoo is so cool. It's the coolest thing ever. I don't care what kind of pain I'm going to endure. It's going to be so cool.
It's going to be worth it.
Yeah, it's going to be worth it, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you're sitting there and you're like, oh, yeah. You know, enduring all that pain. And it's like, oh, yeah, you see your fresh new tattoo and you're like, this is sick, bro. This is so sick. This is so dope. You know,
it's gonna be bad, man.
Exactly. You start like showing off everywhere. It's like, okay, cool. I took let's see, I got this when I was 18. So 13 years later, I get another one, right? And I sit there and I lay down. And it's like, all right, let's get to work, right? And I feel the pain, and I'm not as excited as I was back then. Obviously, tattoos for me now have a different meaning. It's a whole different outcome, a whole different outlook, right?
Different experiences.
I know what I want to get on my body now. I know what I want to live with for the rest of my life, right? So that being said, it's not this enjoyment. There's no enjoyment in it. It's painful. It hurts.
Oh yeah.
So like I'm sitting there and it's like, okay, you know, cool, whatever. Like he's going through, he's doing his job. And it's like, okay, you know, I'm just sitting there. I'm just along for the ride. And it gets to a point where like your body starts to hit that like, all right, hey man, we're in pain, you know, like we're hurting, you know. And it's like, okay, you know, cool, whatever. Like, but hey, we're halfway through. Sorry, we're gonna finish this out. And then the pain gets worse and worse over time. You know, it got to a point where I was like, do you feel my leg twitching? Like, am I twitching?
Are you noticing?
Are you noticing?
Yeah.
He's like, no, not at all, man. I'm like, because every time, like after a certain point, every time he kept putting the needle down,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, all right, all right, and yeah, there's parts of the body that are more sensitive than others, obviously.
I heard the calf is a painful spot.
It's, like, I don't know, man. Like, there were parts, I even told him, I was like, there's spots that I was like, ooh, that one,
That hit a nerve.
That one stings, and there were other ones that I was like, are you doing anything? Are you?
See, there are certain spots, like line work. I don't find a lot of the line work that I've had, I find that more comfortable than shading. It's when they go in with the shading that there are certain spots I'm like, that's hitting all the spots.
Yeah.
I can feel that. That hurts.
See, like, for me, it was different because here the shading was more enjoyable than the line work. Here, the line work was better. No, sorry. The shading was better than the line work. What the heck did I say?
You said shading was better. And you said shading was better.
Line work was better down here than the shading, and then vice versa over here.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because every time that he went to go do a line, it's like, oh my God. And then the shading would go in, and it's like, it literally did feel like a scratch, like he was just scratching the spot. And it's like, oh, okay. Another thing that I heard was every time that they wipe you down with alcohol, it's like, ooh, it burns. That was the only relief I had the whole time. I was like, oh, thank God.
Yep, I know that feeling.
Which is weird. It's like, this guy's literally exposing, my skin, and like, you're poking me through, you're cutting me up, and then it's like the alcohol that's supposed to burn is the only thing causing me relief.
It feels better. Like it's like a cool, like someone
it's like it just
blew, just like did a gentle.
Oh my
blow
God! Yeah,
like,
it's like,
oh my God!
It's like God Himself, just like it's like, oh, thank you.
Yeah, like line work for the most part. Yeah, on my arm, felt pretty good, except for obviously those particular spots right here in the pit, on the crease. That hurt, and then around the elbow, apparently there's mad nerves around there.
Yeah, I've heard that too, like on the elbow, and it's like, I don't know. Like, again, my view on this might be different than some others, but I think that if you endure that kind of pain, like on the elbow, on the shin, I've heard as well.
Yeah.
Like, if you get a tattoo there, I think you're doing it just to like appear yourself as a like a badass, basically.
I think. Obviously, there are certain spots I want tattoos on. Yeah, maybe the shin one day. I'd probably have a few bottles before I go in there and do that. But you don't really want to drink before you get a tattoo because it thins your blood.
Thins out your blood, yeah.
You're bleeding a lot more. With that being said, I wish I'd have pounded a bottle before I went in and did my ribs.
Oh, yeah.
Line work did not feel good. Shading did not feel good. It was all around, and like you said, like when he wiped it, and he put after a while, like he started to speed up because he told me, he goes, "Hey, I got an appointment coming in. You mind if I'm gonna go a little bit faster?" I was like, "The hell you are!" And he goes, "Lord, I'm gonna numb you up," and he put some numbing stuff,
numbing cream.
Dude, with all that numbing, I still felt it.
Yeah, I think at that point you were past the point of numbing.
Yeah.
So what I've actually heard lately, but this is from seasoned people that have multiple tattoos on their bodies, is that they've tried out numbing cream and they're like, I didn't feel a thing. It's like, oh, hold on, your experience might be different than mine.
Yeah, everybody's
like, it might be different. Like you've gotten artwork most of your life, I guess, or for a big portion of your body.
Yeah.
I haven't. So if I go ahead and put this numbing cream on, is it literally gonna feel like nothing, or is it gonna feel like a tickle, or is it gonna feel like what's it gonna feel like? You never really know.
Do it yourself, yeah.
But it's something that I've looked up, and it's like some people say don't do it because some numbing creams, I guess, make the tattoo like hideous completely, like it blends in with the ink, and then it's like you don't want that. And then I've heard others that are, you know, like really good stuff, and like they put it on, and it's like, oh yeah, it's great. Like,
I will say
don't know.
I'm on the side of not doing numbing, just for the fact of I think when you get a tattoo, it's the whole experience behind it as
Yeah.
well. I feel like you should have to go through the pain. It makes you appreciate it that much more too.
Yeah,
You're like,
absolutely.
"Yeah, I went through that. I went through that just to get like. I
Absolutely.
was nervous when I got my fingers. Everyone's like, "Ooh, the fingers hurt. The fingers hurt."
Yeah.
Which I do need to touch up because they faded immediately.
But everybody
My
says
stupidity.
the same thing. It's like, yeah, like this area hurts more than the other area. So
But
it's like,
I
it's
got
just-
it done, and I was like, that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
don't get me wrong, it's not something I'm like, sign me
Right.
up for that pain, but
absolutely.
hands down, like it was tolerable. I could handle it.
Yeah.
It was nothing to where I was sitting there going, ooh, gripping, because like when I had the ribs, or like after a certain amount of hours on the arm, I was just sitting there grabbing my belt with my left hand, just squeezing the hell out of it.
Yeah. So like I found myself like after the halfway point, or maybe a little bit after the halfway point, like I legitimately was trying not to flex this leg so much, because it's like it's a muscle right
Yeah.
there. So it's like I don't want to make that even harder than what it already
Yeah.
is. So like I found myself just like squeezing the butt cheeks, you know, and it's like, oh, yeah. And then like this whole leg just kept stiffening up, and then, you know, it's like I appreciate that he had like an actual table laid out and everything, like cushion, and I just kept grabbing that cushion. It's like, all right, okay, cool, hey, cool, we're taking a break. Oh, he's going again. All right.
Did you know? So the reason why I even brought this up too is there's a new thing happening. It costs quite a bit of money, but if you kick the bucket one day and your daughters want something cool to remind themselves of you, they can actually pay to have your tattoo removed. The skin itself.
I looked that up. I
and
saw that.
yeah,
Yes.
they'll pretty much frame it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. I
your
saw
skin.
this. That's
Obviously,
wild.
you know, there are companies like there are actually museums that have that, and it's basically like Yakuza because they have full body art. Like,
Yeah.
it's all one beautiful piece, and upon their death, they'll actually pretty much skin the person,
Yeah.
and then treat the skin and then frame it, so it'll be like that forever.
See, here's my thing though. So, for people like that,
Yeah.
that have like their entire body tattooed, yeah, you went through a lot of pain. Number one, you spent a lot of money on that,
A lot.
a whole lot, and the amount of hours that it took, because a tattoo like this took 5 hours, and I'm sitting there like, well, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
five whole hours, cool, great, and then the amount of money that they have to pay also to frame that, right? And it's not cheap at all.
No,
it's not
it's
cheap.
thousands of dollars.
But my thing is like, okay, cool, they take your skin off. You're having a closed casket, right?
Well, I mean, if they're taking that much, obviously, like if they were to take just your leg piece,
Yeah.
open casket's all right because they're not gonna see your legs anyway. If you are someone who has that much body work and you're skinning the whole body, I think at that point it's best if you just have a closed casket.
Cremation.
Cremation.
You know what? Cremation. I think it's a done deal, buddy. I think it's a done deal. Yeah, I've seen it. But I think moving forward, honestly, the way I'm probably going to move forward, or if I do end up getting another one, is shorter time blocks. Just because, like, your body, and I mean, like, maybe it's just me that I'm like, I can't tolerate the pain that much or whatever. Like I said, you know, I had a huge gap from when I got my first one till the
I don't
second
even
one.
think
But
it's that. I have 9 hours of work into my arm, right?
was it all in one hit?
Nope. I still have a few more hours. Like, I never finished it. So, like, when people look at it, they're like, ugh. I'm like, hey, calm down. I still need more work done.
Yeah.
I just was lazy. I was a kid. I was young.
Yeah.
So I never went back to the artist.
Absolutely.
I don't even know if he's still at the shop anymore. So that's my fault. That and I was broke half the time I
Yeah.
went. But my body after 5 hours, my arm tapped out. I was mentally good to go. I was like, hey man, I can, I'm good. Like it hurts. Don't get me wrong. It hurts.
It hurts,
you can keep going. He goes, no, we got to stop because my arm was literally shaking.
Just shaking.
The arm tapped out. The rest of me was good to go.
Yeah.
So, and then after the 4 hours too, I don't know if it was just because I waited 2 weeks to go back. My arm was still sensitive.
Oh yeah.
So he went in after 4 hours. My arm was just shaking again.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Hey man, we got to stop. You know, I can't even do any
I can't do anything.
any close lines because
you're
you're all
shaking
over the
so
place."
much. Yeah, absolutely. The only reason why I say like shorter time blocks is just because like I think like maybe like 2 hours or 3 hours is like a good enough amount of time. Get some, like get most of the line work done and everything like that done. Boom. Okay, cool. We're done. We're done right now. I'll come back, once it heals up and stuff like that, whatever. But like putting yourself through that much pain, I asked Rudy, man, like I was like, what's the longest session that you did? He told me he did a guy once 10 hours. And I was like,
10-hour piece?
10-hour piece, bro? 10 hours. Damn. He's like, yeah, 10 hours. I was like, dude, that's sitting there the whole time. He's like, yeah, 10 hours. That's insane, bro.
Was it a back piece?
I can't remember what he told me. I think it was a back piece or a leg piece, or I think he said it might have been like a whole sleeve. Like it was like the guy was working on a whole sleeve or something like that. But he told me, yeah, 10 hours is the most he's ever done. And he's the artist. I can't imagine the guy
sitting there
for 10 hours. It's like, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch. Don't be a bitch.
Shout out to Rudy, Rudy Romero. If you guys want to look him up, I think Raw Romero is his Instagram.
Raw Romero, yeah.
If I find it, I have it. I'll try to put it up here.
We'll hit him up, let him know see if it's okay. But yeah,
it's crazy. I've seen his progression. I've seen when he started tattooing, and I've seen how much better he's gotten over the years.
Yeah.
And, he's on his way. Mm-hmm. If he decides to do color, Rudy, I'll let you touch this body. But
I mean, he did some color on me. It's white, but it's color.
It's weird. I have a theme going on in my body, and I didn't even intentionally do this. All my tattoos, all of them, are red and black. I didn't even intend for that.
Oh, that's just kind of like what.
That's just how it
ended up
happened to be.
Yeah. Okay.
So I have on my fingers right here are the suits for the cards, red and black.
Yeah, red
and black. My tattoo. I wanted a tribal because I like the way they flow with the body.
Yeah, it's like the most 2000s thing that you could ever do as a tribal.
Well, when I got it.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah, you got one too. Where's my millennials? I like the way it flows with the body, but I didn't want just an all black tribal. I was like, give me something that stands out.
Yeah.
Initially, I wanted an all red tribal.
Absolutely.
Guy goes, let's do a mixture of red and black, and then we'll leave a line in the center to make it look. I forgot the term he used for it, but it makes it pop a little bit more.
Oh, okay.
So that's why there's a space in between all the lines. And I was like, all right, cool. It did that, and then my ribs is a torn rib cage, so the majority of it is a lot of red.
Red and black.
Red and black, and then he did like a coloring for the bone.
Yeah.
And then. Oh, I have a tribal, or not tribal. I have a biohazard on my chest.
Yeah, which is basically a tribal.
No. Shut up. But it's all red with black outlines. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
That was all unintentional.
Yeah.
So I need some different color. I don't know.
Okay.
If I got this arm with like something blue on it, do you think it would mesh good with the rest of the body?
Honestly, dude, like what I'm gonna say is I wouldn't worry about so much about like what flows and like what looks good.
Just get it. If it means it's good.
If that's what you like, if that's what you want, and if it means something to you, then I can go for it.
So you got obviously a Viking tattoo, which is, I gotta say, looks good.
Yeah.
And I really did a damn good job on it. I like the line work. And we've spoken about this before on
Yep.
this podcast and even the other podcast, Nerd Mythology. Viking history and culture means a lot to you.
Yeah.
You love it.
Yeah.
So on this arm, I love Japanese culture.
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
wanted to get a either a samurai or like I kind of want like a cherry blossom tree
Oh yeah.
all up and down.
That'd
So
be
like I
sick,
want it
dude.
black, but
Yeah.
obviously the pink coloring.
Yeah.
And I love that cherry blossoms don't last long, and it symbolizes to me other things. It's the beauty of life.
Yeah.
The fact that, what makes life so special is not that it lasts forever.
Yeah.
It's because it doesn't last forever that makes something so great. And so cherry blossom, the fact that, it's not in season for very long, but when it is, it's beautiful.
Absolutely.
So I love that, that outlook on it.
Yeah.
And I thought about getting that on my entire left arm.
Yeah, that's so obviously you picked out the theme like right away. You already knew what it was from, and it's for some reason like I found a fascination with like Norse mythology and like with the Vikings and everything. Like the Vikings were assholes, first of all.
Absolutely. They were pillagers and conquerors.
Absolute assholes. But like to me, it's just I saw more than just a bunch of assholes. Like I saw just like a whole bunch of history there that was never told. Basically,
I like that.
these stories were told just by that, like stories. Nobody ever wrote them down.
Campfires.
Nobody ever like did anything with them. They were just stories, and they were passed down from generation to generation to generation up until today. To the point, even today, people still don't know fully the whole history, which is like, wow, it's insane to me.
I mean,
because it's like we know basically every civilization out there: Greek, Asian.
That's because it was well documented.
Native American.
They wrote down.
European,
They had scholars. That
exactly,
were writing stuff down.
exactly. But like these guys, they didn't care.
I ain't got time to write this stuff down.
They literally just lived in the moment.
I dig that.
And it's
I
like
it.
they didn't have time to write stuff down. It's like, hey man, nobody got time for that, dude. Get over here, let's get drunk.
I like that. Yeah.
Which is like, hey man, like I dig it, dude. I dig it. I think there's more to it than just all that sappy stuff. That the reason why I got it, but that's kind of like a big basis behind why I went for that kind of stuff. So.
And that's how tattoos should be. Like they should, if you look at someone and they have tattoos, they should tell a story.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
like the biggest thing with like any type of like Nordic tattoo that you've seen out there. They all tell a story.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. And that mine's no different. And then everyone out there is no different. Like they're supposed to tell a story because that's how they did it back then.
Your body's a book.
They are. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They were the story. So it's like, oh, I get it now. Like, and then throughout time, yes, there are books out there, called the Poetic Edda and the Prose Edda. So those are basically like the books that recorded all of the history of the Norse mythologies and Scandinavia and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it was literally like basically children's story. So prose, so poetic, poetic, a bunch of poetry.
Yeah.
And it was just like poems that they did, and they wrote it down and then basically turned out to be like the whole entire history, right? And the prose basically translates to grandma stories almost. So it's like it's literally all just like children's story, campfire stories that just kind of passed down. Nobody really knows exactly what happened, or like there's a lot of people out there, there's a lot of scholars out there that they do have more in-depth knowledge, but it's like to me it's like this is pretty cool. This is just like it's cool. Like they just lived in the moment and then they didn't care about anything else. So it's like Hell yeah.
And they'll mess your shit up.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Besides the whole point, but yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool. And then, I mean, I already have like ideas of like what I would like to do next, but it's like, again, this thing hurt. So
I've always wanted a neck tattoo, but that's full on commitment. What I get there, because when you see me out in public, that is going to be the first thing you see. Your eyes are going to be drawn straight to it.
Absolutely.
So if I get something there, it has to be something very meaningful and tasteful.
Absolutely. And then to me, like, you know, like, I'm not in the business of like drawing attention with my tattoos anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really care who knows that I have one or who cares that I, you know, whatever. I don't really care. Like I said, it's more about what it means to me. So like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I see people out there with like a face tattoo, like above their eyebrow, and it's like, or their cheekbone, or you know, anywhere on their face, and it's like, well, you're dumb, but hey, you know,
I look at it like this,
if
right?
that's what you wanted, cool, man. Like, good for you, but like, ew.
Yeah, so there are obviously there are many opinions and many outlooks on when you get a tattoo.
Oh, absolutely,
and
yeah.
where you're getting the tattoo.
Yeah,
Today's society in modern today's generation,
yeah,
you have people getting tattoos, and I think a lot because you have a lot of rappers that are getting face tattoos and stuff. But like we've said, what does that tattoo say about you? What story are you giving? Are you getting
Exactly.
it because you think it's cool?
Yeah.
Are you putting it on the face because you
That's-
think you're cool?
that's
If so,
exactly,
you know,
yeah.
I don't like it. I think it's trashy.
Yeah.
If you're gonna get certain tattoos on the face, there are too many variables, right? So one, most importantly, what are you doing? Where are you in your life, right? Are you
Yep.
do you have a great job? Are you at a job to where they allow that in your future career? Are they going to allow you to
Yeah,
have? Because when
absolutely.
yes, we are further along in life
Yeah.
where you know tattoos have become more acceptable.
acceptable. Yeah,
With that being said, though, if you're going to go for a certain company and you're going to be meeting with certain people or you're a face of that company,
Yeah.
I don't want some ghetto baby mama with her child or her baby daddy's name
Yep.
above her eyebrow,
yeah.
right?
Yep,
I don't want
absolutely.
that. I don't want them to see my company and the first thing they do is see her.
yeah,
Or if you're a guy and you're getting a bunch of teardrops and stuff, hey man, what are you doing? Like if you're a tattoo artist, by all means,
Yeah.
face tattoos all the way.
Absolutely.
If you're in the military, you know, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I don't think you can get face
it ain't
tattoos in the
happening.
military.
No, it ain't happening.
Yeah.
No,
If
absolutely
you're
not.
in a Fortune 500 company, I highly doubt they want face tattoos on you.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, like you said earlier, like if it tells a story and it has some sort of significance, and you know, I can see it like right away, because that was your whole goal, was
Yes.
to like portray it to the world. Because hey, I got it on my face because that's the first thing you're gonna look at. You're gonna look
Yes.
at my face, right? And that's what you wanted me to look at. That's what you wanted me to see. At least let it tell something that's of significance, of importance. Like if I go up
Exactly.
to you and say like, "Hey, I see that you have this tattoo on you. What is it? What does it mean? Like, what is it?" And then you can give me a story, like a good story behind it, not just like Kyle, you know,
Yeah.
across your face.
God damn it, Kyle. But yeah, it'll make me, you know, it'll also make me look at you differently too. If you tell me something
Yeah.
in depth, beautiful, and I'm like,
Then
hey,
I'll absolutely be like, you know what? Hey, absolutely.
and I'll look
perfect.
at you too as a different person because I'm like, hey, this person,
Yep.
you know, has there's more to them. Obviously, they always say don't judge a book by its character, but I'm
Cover.
gonna, yeah. What did I say?
Character.
Don't judge a book. Yeah, by its cover. Sorry, brain somewhere else.
Smell burnt toast.
Burnt toast. But yeah, if you have, if you, I'm thinking of a Family Guy episode now.
All right.
But if you're, you know, don't judge a book by its cover. But you know, if you have a tattoo that's beautifully done, if you have something that's I've never seen before and is unique on your face,
Yep.
and it has an amazing story behind it, cool.
Absolutely.
But if you just got a bunch of stupid random stuff on your face,
Yeah, it's just weird. Like, I can understand if you have stupid stuff like across your body, like your arms, you know, stuff like that, whatever. Like, hey, cool. Like, you can put your baby daddy's name, you know, across your forearm.
you can do it
Absolutely.
tastefully though.
That tastefully, yeah, like absolutely, you could do whatever stupid stuff on your body because it can be concealed, it can be hidden, it can be put away. You know, like nobody has to like ever see it, ever again, ever, right? But yeah, like neck, face, hands is another big one. You know, like you shake somebody's hand, that's the first thing that
Yep, they're gonna notice
that you
it.
see right there. It's like boom. It's like, oh, hey, you got something there. You know, again, if your tattoos are gonna be in direct line of sight, then yeah, absolutely have a story behind it. Have a story prepared, and make sure that whoever comes and asks, like, hey, you know, I got you, cool. I'll let you know what it's all about.
Yeah.
Don't be that person that you know, somebody asks you like, whoa, what does your tattoo mean? You know, like, what is it? Like, none of your business. You know, it's like I've told many people before, like every time they ask me about mine, it's like, what does your tattoo mean? Well, my tattoo means I was 18 and dumb. Yeah.
Yep.
I was 18 and an adult.
You ever
Technically.
notice like people? It blows my mind how sensitive people are, right? Like they have a tattoo, or I noticed this. There's a guy I follow him. I don't follow him, but I've seen him everywhere. He's that YouTube channel where he asks people what they do for a living, and they got a really nice car.
Oh yeah.
I think we've talked about this before.
Have we?
If you, I think so.
Having a
If you're
deja vu
driving a
moment?
Lambo with your windows down and you think you look cool and stuff, and someone asks, going up to you, oh, hey, I love the car, you know, hey, what do you do for a living? Don't find that offensive. If you find that offensive, you're a POS, and I would love to fight you.
Like if you don't want to answer the question, just say like, hey, I don't want to talk
there's-
about it.
there's
That's it.
They roll the windows up like, oh my God, this weirdo.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a lot of these people are they have their heads shoved so far up their own ass.
Oh no, yeah,
that
absolutely.
their sense of
Sense of awareness,
Awareness,
like sense of
yeah.
like self-respect, like respect for others.
like,
yeah,
dude,
it's gone.
there's
It's gone out
there's
the
a way
window.
to do something. You can do it the
Like
asshole
their
way.
ego.
You can do it their
Their
ego.
ego is.
You're no one amazing, dude. You're no one. You could afford a Lambo. That doesn't mean you're cool. That doesn't
Your
mean you're
ego
above
is
anyone.
your ego's literally competing with Dogecoin right now, dude.
Yeah. But like same things with tattoos, right? Like if you have a tattoo and I ask you, hey, what does that mean? And maybe it's something you weren't proud of. Don't
Yeah.
get offended by it.
Yeah, don't, like-
Just, hey, but like, hey,
If you messed up, you messed up, dude. Like
you messed up.
everybody out there, I can count so many people that have tattoos and
Like
like
they regret some of them.
they regret some of them, or they'll be like, you know, like honestly, like it was supposed to be this and that or whatever, and I went to an artist and they didn't really care. I didn't really care. I just wanted to get it done.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like whatever the story may be, like just know you're not the only one in that boat. There's a lot more people that are in that same boat. Right here, right
Like,
here.
I love
I'm
my
one of them.
I love my tribal, but as I got older, there's a lot more stuff that means more to me.
Yeah.
That I would love to have had this empty skin.
Oh,
this
yeah,
blank
absolutely.
canvas that I would rather have put there.
There's so many
rather than
things
this.
that I was like, I could have done so many other things, you know, like on this blank canvas
Yep.
or whatever, you know, I could have done so many other. And then like the more ideas I get, you know, someday I'm like, yeah, I want like a full sleeve on this arm, but then I wanted something.
That stops it. That,
There's that right there. But then somebody once put in good perspective for me, right? Like they told me, because I got to that weird point in my life where I was like, man, like why the heck did I get this thing? Like it's dumb, you know, like why did I do it, right? Like whatever. And somebody once told me, it's like, you know, like that, don't think of it as like a regret. Think of it as a point in your life.
a learning.
Like this is where you were in life back then.
I like that.
This is how you saw things. This is where you saw things, and this is like And obviously, like, if you have some sort of like regret or remorse about something, it's like you changed your mind. You have different thoughts about it now.
Your
Like
whole
you
aspect,
grew.
yeah.
Exactly. You grew, and now you have a different point of view than what it was before. Because same point. Like, we literally talked about this the other day. Like, you know, if I could go back, talk to past me, you know, and it's like I would have punched past me in the mouth, you know, a long time ago. You know what I mean? Like,
I got it coming.
Yeah, like
I got it coming.
I would have messed myself up, but then I was like, but wait a minute. Past me was a badass.
Oh, yeah, past me would have probably wrecked me. Past me had a six-pack.
Exactly.
Past me was hitting some weights.
Yeah, exactly. Past me had a six-pack, but not in the abs, you know?
Yeah. I was a lot more fit and energetic, yeah, and there was no change in my mind. And we're all stupid at one point or another in our lives, you know. And like you said, it's a learning experience.
It is. It's definitely a learning experience, and it's like, you know what?
If you're
fine, it is what it is. Like, you live and you learn. When your grandkids, you know, one day ask you, it's like, Grandpa, what's that? It's like, I remember this.
We got a buddy, and he's one of my best friends, man. I love the guy, Abe.
Yeah.
He has a tattoo on his foot. Have you ever seen it?
I think I've just glanced at it. I never really like paid any mind to it. Like, I've never actually like.
You gotta ask him to show you it.
Okay.
The story behind it is amazing. Abe was in the Army, and he's hammered drunk, and he decides to get a tattoo.
Those are the best stories.
Oh yeah, like he did the tattoo himself.
Oh, even better.
Oh yeah,
even better.
And he they had to go to a concert, and I guess he passed out, so they carried him in. And he woke up in the middle of the concert, and this is like overseas. And he was like, "Oh my God!" He, hyped up energy again. Goes back to the barracks, and then passes out, and wakes up. Looks at his foot. What the fuck? Didn't even remember giving himself the tattoo. And I gotta tell you, it's one of the most messed up tattoos I've ever seen. But it's awesome in the sense of how it happened, right?
The story. There's a story behind it. You see what I mean? Like, that's the whole point.
Yeah, that moment in his time was a great time.
Exactly.
Like he was having a great time, enjoying it. But it's also still not on his face. So he can hide that regret.
Put it away.
If you put a regret right here, regrets, if you have any regrets on
no
your
regrets.
Yeah, you have any regrets on your face,
not even one.
You can't. Yeah, not
a single letter.
You can't hide that, man. You can't hide that.
Yeah.
So just be mindful of where you guys are gonna put your tattoos.
Absolutely. Don't do anything stupid. No baby mamas, no baby daddies. Just keep that completely. Just keep it out of the loop,
Exactly.
Like, whatever.
If you're young and you're listening to this, I hopefully, we have an audience of a younger age too listening, because we like to give you our experiences, and hopefully you learn from them. So if you're younger, just take it from us. Think not twice, but think 5 times about the tattoo you're gonna get or something you're gonna do in your life,
or
before you actually do it.
Or don't think about it. Go get the tattoo. Come back 10 years later and be like, hey, those guys were right.
Yeah, full send. Send it.
Send it. Just
Send it.
fully send it. Anyway, so I was, you ever go in your car and then you start having like a full-on conversation with yourself?
Oh, yeah.
And somehow in the middle of that conversation, you end up fighting yourself. You start fighting with yourself. Right? You're like, you dumb motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, oh, all right. Like I'll be in my car, and I'll have a full conversation with myself. And then like somehow I ended up at this topic, right, about podcasts, right? Ironically enough. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, hey, why does everybody out there have a podcast, right? What's everybody's story, right? Everybody has a damn story. you have people like us, we're doing this on our own, and we're just putting our content and our thoughts in our minds and whatnot. But nobody ever talks about like the celebrities that go out, they're already successful, and then they turn around, it's like, I'm gonna do a podcast.
I'm gonna do a podcast.
Hey man, this is all I have. Don't take this away from me,
You already
man.
got your own TV show. Get out of here.
Get the fuck out of here. So like, obviously like Joe Rogan's like one of the biggest ones.
He started it though.
He
That boy
started the whole
paved
thing.
the
Right?
road for a lot of people.
A lot of people, right? So like, cool. Granted, back then I had no clue what the hell a podcast was.
Yeah.
Who the hell even came up with the word podcast? Honestly, I don't even know. But yeah, so he basically went on when the whole thing started, and it's like, hey, this is something that I want to try out. Started it out, and then boom, now he has $100 million, dollar deal with Spotify, and then boom, it's like, all right, cool. Then you have everybody else and their mom, right below him. So you have the other ones that started out early, and they created a podcast, and those are the ones that like thrived, right? Because back then people don't know what the heck to follow, so it's like, oh, there's two people on here, I guess I'll follow them both, right?
Follow that guy.
Exactly.
See what he's up about.
See what he's all about, right? And then all of a sudden they end up being like, one of the best or whatever, but like that's because they started out early.
Yeah.
What bothers me is that, we started late in the game. But again, this was just all like a thought, floating up in the air, and it's like, let's make it happen.
Oh yeah.
So we made it happen,
bullshitting half
right?
the time.
What makes me mad is that somebody goes on the Joe Rogan podcast, and, it's a celebrity, and they're like, oh yeah, da, da, da. Oh, by the way, I have a podcast. And then all of a sudden I just see we were here in subscribers, and then they were here, and then all of a sudden they
Skyrocket.
And I'm like, come on, man. Like, I can't remember who it was. I think I talked to you about it. There was one celebrity, I won't say who it is, but he was interviewing another celebrity, right? And just because of the name of said celebrity, people went and watched
absolutely.
the podcast, right? It got like over 1 million views. Well over 1 million views, right? And I was like, you know what? I cannot be a hater. I don't want to be a hater. So I'm just gonna, whatever. I'll go watch it. I'll see what it's all about. I sat there and I watched it. It was all about nonsense and bullshit. Oh my god, dude! It was just dude, like nothing to contribute. Absolutely nothing to contribute. I mean, then again, here we are just talking a bunch of nonsense. But like, I was like, my stuff is better than that. Like what? Like they didn't talk about anything. They just talked about each other's feelings.
Damn things.
It's like, you know what? Whatever. There's another one, another celebrity. She decided to make a podcast out of nowhere, puts it on her social media, and then boom, her
Blows up.
stuff just blows up, like out of nowhere. It's like, stop making podcasts. Let me thrive first.
Let me get my foot in the door, damn it.
Let me get in there first. Come on.
Give me a fighting chance.
But like, good Lord, man, just quit it. Just stop it now. I'm being a hypocrite right now.
Yeah. I'll stop you on that. I feel like persistence, man. Even if you're down, you just got to keep going on.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Life's a garden, got to dig it.
You got
You got to dig it.
Gotta dig it.
Keep on
water
keeping
it,
on.
and hope to God there's not a cloud over it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we've been growing pretty steadily. Obviously, like all the time off that we've had, and not attending to the socials, to the podcast itself. It's like, all right, we need to
Get back in it. Throw
we
it
need
back
to
in
get
the
back
gear.
in it, throw it back in the gear. Hopefully, yeah, like this will be one for a while, and then hopefully we get another one out soon.
Yeah.
Do you remember what we said? It was like first beginning episodes, like we're gonna try and pump one out every week or something like that. It's like, That was a lie.
That was a lie. That was a hard lie. I'm so sorry about that. It's hard, man. Like I said, we have full-time jobs. You got a whole family and stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like we don't have the luxury of taking. You know, when you get a day off, you got so much other stuff you have to get done.
Oh, absolutely. You know, like, it's funny that you say that because, for example, yesterday, I told myself, like, all right, I'm going to try and work on this episode, and I'm going to, like, get some content going out, you know, post some stuff out, put some stuff out there. And as I'm walking down the stairs, I'm about to head over to the computer, and I hear my wife say, like, hey, the water's cold. I was like, what? What do you mean the water's cold? Yeah, the water's coming out cold. Like the sink, the faucet, I have it all the way turned up to the hot water, and it's like it's just coming out. You know, it's hot, but it's not as hot. And I'm like, yeah, that's weird. I was like, well, like just give it some time. I don't know, like see if it'll warm up again. And she's like, well, I took a cold shower earlier. I was like, and you tell me now. You tell me this now. So me going straight to the computer turned to me going straight to the basement, looking at the water heater, and fast forward about 3 or 4 hours, new water heater came into the house, and it got installed, and that's one way to put a hard stop in your content. You know?
Yeah.
It's like,
now I'm pissed off that a few grand just came out of my pocket for a water heater. Yeah. I'm like, ugh.
So like, dude, water heaters are like, come on, we're in 2023. Give me some better technology. Good Lord. Like, why is it still the same old technology
Basic
going
setup.
into these
Basic
water
setup.
heaters? Like, come on.
And then you can have your bottomless water heater, your tankless water heater.
Your tankless, yeah.
Yeah, but it's. I don't know if you looked up the prices of
They're,
those.
they're expensive, man.
They're outrageous.
So I literally yesterday when I was looking all this stuff up, you know, I'm like, okay, you know, maybe it'll okay, cool. There's a water heater that I need. All right, cool. Well, you know, if I'm gonna replace it, let me see how much a tankless, you know, let's say, oh,
son of a.
woo, all right. You know what? I
Yep.
think I'm getting another tank. I think I'm getting another 50-gallon tank, and it's
It's going right back.
it's going right back into the same spot.
And like what's crazy is when you become a homeowner, right? It's everything. When you are renting, and something breaks, you got a leak in the roof. Your water heater goes out. You call your landlord and be like, "Hey, they need to fix this," and he's got a certain amount of time to fix it. That's coming out of his pocket. When you
Before
are a
his ass
homeowner,
gets sued, yeah.
something breaks, that's coming out of your
That's on
damn
you, buddy.
pocket.
That's on
And
you.
So it's when you become a
Oh,
homeowner,
my
there's
God.
so much more. And for some reason, the minute you own the damn house, everything wants to fucking break. You have new worries when it's storming and it's hailing outside. All that's going through your head is, oh my God, please let
God,
the roof be
please,
okay.
nah,
'Cause
please,
I don't want
God.
to have to replace a roof. Look into how much it is to replace a roof.
Oh, yeah,
shit,
it's
a
obscene.
damn brick.
It's obscene.
You're hearing these loud pings against your house. You're like, oh, please don't let any of the glass windows break.
Luckily, with stuff like that, like your insurance covers most of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like with hail damage, obviously, like cool.
But when
like,
you're looking at replacing a roof, that's a 10 grand plus.
oh yeah, absolutely,
expense.
$10,000 plus, yeah.
And remember, let me give you a little a lesson in insurances, right? There are probably going to be some dipshit in the comments going, "That's not how insurance works." I paid enough of it to know. When you make a claim, over time, your premiums will go up.
Yeah.
Because then they're looking at it like, well, this is becoming a recurring
Issue,
like, an issue.
It's happening
So
more and more, yeah.
that's why I avoid. I have the insurance as a last resort. Everything where something is completely effed up and I got to replace it, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It goes with car insurance. If you get an issue, if you can't fix it yourself and you were going to make a claim on insurance, understand over time, the more claims you make, hail damage, window
Yep.
insurance, a replacement, your premiums over time will go up.
So like I remember back in 2016, I think it was 16 or 17. I don't remember quite fully, but that big hailstorm came down. Both my cars were basically destroyed, and one of them, windows were busted out completely.
Yep.
If I would have claimed it on the insurance, I would have been out of a car, right? Because they would have totaled it.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
I said, you know what? I'll just take the money. The car still drives. I'll just take the money and I'll go along my way, right? The other car we set it out to get repaired, and it did get repaired. But I remember that year, all these claims. So you couldn't find a body shop out there that would take you. So there were body shops. I remember. I think it happened in August. And there were
about right.
body shops that were booked out till like summertime of next year.
Oh yeah.
Booked out like that. That's when they'll take your car.
Yeah.
Not when they'll fix it. That's when they'll like take it in.
And then your car's in the
And then
shop for another month.
No, we waited like 2-3 months
Damn.
to get our car back. So it's like, oh man. So we got ours in pretty quick. It's like, thank God. But like, dude, it's insane. But then the very next year, about around the same time, like a few little hailstorms like came in. Like it wasn't anything crazy, but like I literally saw my bill on my insurance just fucking
Skyrocket.
skyrocket up,
Yep.
and it's like, what happened? Called my insurance up, like, hey man, like what's going on? Like, why did my insurance go up? It's like, well, like there's been more occurrences and yada yada. Like people are calling, claiming. Da. It's like, that's not my fault.
That's not my fault.
Take it with God.
I'm outside throwing ice back up. Take it back, God.
Take this back, damn it.
Yeah. So that's another thing. Like, over time, just as a community, if that state's having an issue, your premiums are going to go
Oh,
up.
absolutely.
If you buy a certain car and it's known for crashing, because young kids buying it and they're crashing it,
Yep.
insurance is going to be a little higher on that car.
Oh yeah.
If you're a male, just in general, your insurance is going to be a little bit higher.
I think that's a little bit targeted. Honestly. Come on now.
There you go, Geico.
Like, honestly, like, why is it that women get cheaper insurance than men? Like that. Hold on now. Hold on.
I got to tell you, man, I've been in the car, my mom, an ex, and a few friends, all women, and hands down, they're the worst drivers I've ever met.
Like,
I've
to,
never
to say that they are safer. Hold on.
my sister, and this goes, the calling the kettle black, the pot calling the kettle black. I had an accident, I'm not gonna get too much into it. I was influenced, under the influence.
Easy.
Yeah, had an accident. That's years ago. Passed. I'm a better person.
Gone.
I was a piece of shit for letting it happen in the first place. But my sister, sober as hell.
Yeah.
Her response time when she panics, like I don't think she
Goes
knows
out the
how
window,
to.
yeah.
I don't think she knows how to respond properly. Has totaled 2 cars, just in like moments of
Lord.
like pure panic.
Oh my God.
And now she's so scared behind the wheel.
Yeah.
So when something happens that, a car comes in her lane too quick or something,
Yeah.
she just like tightens up. I go, don't tighten up.
Yeah.
Be loose and be ready, agile, ready to, if you got to get over, ready to look in your side mirror, make sure no
Yeah.
one's there, jolt. Just, and now she's just timid, real timid on the road. And I'm like, that makes you a worser driver.
That makes you worser.
Is worser a word?
Worser.
Grammar was never my forte, so I don't care.
Well, I mean, but I mean, like, just looking at like women in general, right? Like, I don't mean to turn this into a women shitting on video, but listen, like, just looking at women in general, right? So their response times are, they're a lot slower. Just because, like, technically, response time for women should be higher. For some reason, like women just know to react a lot faster than men. And that's a given. But like response time, like, yeah, reaction time, yeah, it's a little bit faster. But like response time, like the time that it takes you to process like what's going on. And it's like, ooh, I need to do something here.
See, are you saying that they notice it before us, but their response on it is slower?
Exactly. So like they'll notice what's going on. Because like I'll be driving, I'll be going down the road. And like I'll miss something. My wife already saw it. But like by the time it's like it's time to react, I'm already like at the oh shit moment, like, oh shit, I gotta like and then that's when she's like, ah, it's like, oh Jesus.
You're screaming does
like,
not help me.
I see it. I
Yeah.
see it. And that's where I was going with the screaming, right? Like I've seen a lot of videos lately where it's like some traffic accidents happening. Like the last one that I saw, there was a guy driving and like 3 other women in the car. The guy's about to go through like a stoplight, and across the corner there's a gas station. There's a shootout going on. Like an accident happened, and then you hear in the video
Bullets are flying.
Yeah,
over
you
there.
hear in the video just bullets fucking flying, right? Like pa 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 pa. All you hear is just screaming in the car, dude. All the women are just screaming,
God.
and it's like
it doesn't help.
it doesn't.
You're making it worse.
It doesn't at all. And it's all this screaming in the video. Me just watching the video, I'm losing my mind. I'm like, oh my flipping God, dude. I don't know if I would have just
you're getting a little quick little.
shut up.
Like Sean Connery.
Let me
said,
think here.
Sean
I
Connery's
can't
gotta give him a
hear
little
myself
smack.
think, you know? It's like so like it's deafening. The guy is like super calm throughout this whole thing. It's like, you're better than me, dude. Oh my God, you are better than me. And he like stops, sits there, analyzes like what's going on. Everybody's screaming in the car still, like, go this way, go that way. Oh my God. And then the dude just finally at the end is like, all right, I'm going to just flip a U right here and take off the other way. And then one person in the car is like, go faster. The other person's like, no, don't go fast. You're going to get pulled over. It's like, there's a shootout. Who the hell's going to pull you over right now? But it's like, for women, my point throughout this whole thing, for women, like there's a million things that are going through their head at that response time, right? Like whenever like they see it happening, there's a million things that just goes through their head. They're trying to think how to avoid this, how to get out of it, what to do, what's going to happen, what if it hits me, what, you know, a bunch of different scenarios. Versus me, it's like, oh shit, I'm about to die. Fuck.
Go.
Oh shit, go. It's like there's no more of that million things going through my head. My objective is one thing and one thing only: survive.
Get the hell out of here.
Get the hell
at
out.
all
I just
costs.
need to survive. That's
Yeah.
it. So it's like I've been seeing a lot of videos. I've been seeing a trend, and it's like, God, why is my insurance higher? why am I getting penalized when it's like they're over there freaking out? They probably would have died.
Yep. I've had some pucker moments, man, you know, where something happens, and after the incident, I looked at myself and I gave myself a pat on the back and go,
You know, hey,
damn, that was some good driving.
damn.
There's one time, and I swear to God, it's straight out of an article. I'm driving in my old 76 Dodge Aspen, and this kid goes chasing his ball on the road. He runs in between 2 cars, so I don't even see him coming to be
Oh yeah.
First off, I would like to beat the hell out of the parents for not teaching their stupid kid to never do that. They're all his family's sitting there in the front yard looking at him as I almost mowed this kid down. He comes running out. The brakes on this car are the least reliable freaking things.
Oh yes.
So when I hit the brakes, the whole ass end wants to spin out on me.
Oh
Right?
yeah. Yeah.
He jumps out, and I swear to God, my eye just like my Call of Duty eyes just, what is that? And I hit the brake immediately, just my whole ass head spinning out. I was like, son of a... I'm telling you, my bumper almost kissed that kid.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just sitting there like, my adrenaline spiked. I'm just going... oh my God, I almost just murdered a kid. And he just sits there and looks at me with a stupid look on my face, his stupid look on his face, runs back to his yard, and I take off. I go, you know what? He'll probably die later. He's not going to learn from that lesson. He's probably going to end up getting hit. Because it's one of those things like, you ever know, throughout life, you ever touch something like a stove or something hot, and you're like, oh yeah, that hurt.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You now know, like, your brain recognizes the pain, right?
I still touch that stove. All right, it's ready.
So your brain, it's like that one thing. It's seared into your head.
Oh yeah,
Don't
absolutely.
do that again.
Don't do that again. Yeah.
I feel like that kid probably didn't learn his lesson. If I'd have hit him, he might have learned it. I was like,
oh yeah, absolutely. Your body, you as a human being, in itself, it's like you get a traumatizing moment. Like with me with bicycles, right? Like I ride bikes still to this day. Like I can ride a mountain bike, bicycle, whatever you want me to ride. But it's like, you asked me to go across a bridge, I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna think about it a few times. You know, it's like, hold on. What happened the last time I tried to go over a bridge? Oh, that's right, I missed it. I almost killed myself. All right,
I ain't doing that again.
We ain't doing that again. So I don't care how wide that bridge is. I see a bridge. Let's think about it. Let's assess the risk right now. Let's sit
is it worth
here.
the reward?
Is it worth the reward?
Yep.
Is it? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it's funny, but speaking of human beings, got a little bit of more time. Speaking of human beings, we're not the only ones in the universe, right?
Nope.
So it's official. Aliens are real, and we're all just sitting here still wondering. It's like, all right, cool. When are you taking me? When are we? When are we visiting the Creator?
Yeah. It's insane, man, that all this news is coming out and nothing. I feel like the rest of the world is not paying attention to it. Like I feel like it's so. I don't know if it because. Although the political BS that's going on, that it's just on no one's radar. But we literally have people in a hearing telling you aliens exist. We've seen them. We have spacecrafts. We have biologicals. But here's one thing I will say about that is that dude, when during the whole briefing, he pretty much. Every time they asked him something and he gave him a response, he literally flat out says, like, well, I can't say it in a public hearing. Behind closed doors, I can tell you what I saw. Yeah. And they're like, well, is there any spacecrafts and where are they? I know for a fact that there are, of like, he said, like 18 or something like that. I don't know how many. He goes, I know of a few locations. And he's like, can you disclose them? Behind closed doors, basically. In a secure conference, I can tell you. Well, is there any life forms? He goes, well, we do have biological. And they're like, non-human? He goes, non-human. He goes, would you like to express more of that? He goes, I can't speak of
behind
it now.
Closed doors.
Yeah, behind closed doors, basically. And it's like, dude, you're already blowing the whistle. Speak about it. So, God damn.
And I think, too, like... This is just like another distraction, basically. Like they're trying to like get our attention away from something that's, something big that's going on. But I think the main reason why people didn't really seem too excited about, aliens, being in the planet is that there's so much other things going on, and then also like we basically knew already.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, without knowing, we knew, because like we've said before, it's like it's kind of ignorant to think that we are the only ones out in this whole universe. So it's like, it's like that's a really far stretch. But I think that's like the biggest reason why we're not so excited about like why the aliens came down here. It's like, did they find something interesting, or like what's going on? It's like now whenever they start coming down and saying like, hey, like we're gonna start doing trips, 100,000 a pop,
Now I'm like,
Oh, all right. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Maybe then people will get excited, but until then, we will probably still sit here and talk about aliens.
Yep.
And
The what ifs.
the what ifs. The what ifs.
Yep. Yep.
But we appreciate you guys once
Definitely.
again for sitting here watching us for a whole almost 2
Probably
hours.
Is it 2 hours?
Almost 2 hours, yeah.
Damn.
Almost.
All right then.
Yeah, we hope to make another one soon. We hope to maybe not take as long this time to make another episode. No promises.
No promises.
No promises. So, like you said, take these as a little treat.
As a gift.
Take it as a gift.
Oh yeah.
But on that note, we really appreciate you guys. Hit that like and subscribe button and leave a comment and share with your friends. Share with your uncles, your sisters.
Spread the love.
Spread the love. Spread the love. Let everybody know. And if you know that we have a podcast and you haven't watched the podcast, don't come talk to me about the podcast. Just go watch it.
Yeah, don't ask. You guys do any new podcasts lately?
Oh, hey, you guys doing the podcast?
Why, have you seen any of the old ones?
I haven't gotten to it.
It's funny, man. We
Go.
have so many associates and friends that are like, yeah, those are the guys that do the podcast, and they'll talk. They'll talk about it a little bit, but I've not seen one episode.
Go watch the episode. Go watch them.
You're getting a hit.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Appreciate you guys listening. Like you said, leave a subscribe and leave a like if you haven't already. And we'll catch you guys next time. Peace.
Peace. Outro song.